Hi guys, what's going on, Irvin? Hey Wolfie, how's Shamya? That guy is from earlier. I wasn't gonna come on and do it tonight because I was live for so long earlier, but then I was like, I have my 9/11 tomorrow, so I just figured I'll just hop on quickly to get the conspiracy live in. How's everybody doing? Hi 71 KJC, how are you? Wolfie, what a surprise live. Irvin, you're here and you always argue with me. If you go back to the beginning of my channel, Irvin used to come on panel all the time to argue whatever conspiracy theory I would discuss. So now that you're here, you could be the argumentative party for the conspiracies that I go through. Deal? Hi, Tara. Hi, Michelle K. So what do you guys think? Well, I didn't even say anything. Not really 71 KJC. We argue for real, but we'll just chalk it up to fun. What do you guys think about flat Earth? Now, hi, Hemi, babe. I am not a flat earther, but there are a lot of interesting things regarding the flat Earth that intrigue me. Anybody who's familiar with the flat Earth, Wolfie, anyone who's familiar with the flat Earth knows that there's a large party of people. Hi, Janessa. There's a large party of people who believe that the Earth is flat and that Antarctica surrounds us, okay? And that above us is a firmament, meaning that there is no outer space, there's no planets. It's if you take a rocket ship and go up, eventually you're going to hit this glass dome. I'll get like a visual for you guys. I've done lives on this before, and I'll link it for you guys for anyone who's interested in like a deep dive into this. But this is right, Tara? Like, I'm not a flat earther, but NASA, they lie to us about a lot of things. So I don't blame people for having questions, okay? 71. All right, so this is a model of what like the flat Earth looks like. And so if you look at this one, this ice wall is Antarctica. So they don't believe that it's below us. Hi, Rena. Yes. They don't believe that it's below us. They believe that it surrounds us. And just for everyone to be clear, Rena's being sarcastic. She doesn't like my tinfoil hat lives. So they think Antarctica surrounds us, and it's a big ice wall. Now, there are a number of people who believe that if you climb that ice wall, you're just going to drop off the face of the earth. There are other people that believe if you get over that ice wall, that there's more land. Stop it. You guys stay because you love me. And then this is the firmament, okay? So, and the firmament is referred in the Bible. So it's this, yes, Hemi. So it's this glass dome that goes over Earth. And yes, you could sit here and you could have the argument, well, the sun rises, and then it sets. And there is this entire theory around it where it's actually, the sun is not setting or rising. It's actually moving in such a way above us. Like, they have answers for everything. Paul. I know that, Irvin, but I'm still going to present it because it's a conspiracy theory, right? But one of the biggest arguments, is that the original map, okay? So the original map actually depicts the flat Earth. 1587. So this is the original map, and the original map shows Antarctica is surrounding us. I'm not trying to change anyone's minds. I'm not trying to convince anyone the earth is flat, you guys. We're just discussing it. But it really is interesting. You guys are making me feel stuff. You're making me feel bad. It really is interesting. Whatever. You don't have to believe it. And then there's the entire theory that we're dealing with hollow earth, and that's Operation High Jump, Admiral Byrd. There's actually a lot of fucking evidence that the earth is flat, or there's there's a hollow earth. So let me go into hollow earth. This is kind of what you could imagine. Hi, Sabrina. Whoa. Something like that, which I did an entire live on the hollow earth and Admiral Byrd and everything like that. Rena. It's definitely a possibility. Okay, so Admiral Byrd, hold on. I want to make sure I say this right. So Admiral Byrd was an American naval officer and explorer. He was a recipient of the Medal of Honor, the highest honor for valor given by the United States, and was a pioneering American aviator, polar explorer, and organizer of polar logistics. Okay. He made many expeditions to Antarctica, and the shit that he said is going on there will blow your mind. Okay. Admiral Byrd describes a hollow earth. He describes really? Wolfie, can you grab the link before you boot it? Because I find it disturbing. Yeah, you can, Wolfie. Just grab the link first, please. Hi, Punkat. Hi, Allison. That Shell and other oil companies refuse to dig for oil anymore. Yeah. So, and Tara, absolutely shit's going down in Antarctica. Abso-fucking-lutely. Yeah, thank you, Paul. Hi, Amanda. Hi. Shut up, Rena. Stop, you're making me insecure. Stop it. I feel like I'm a band playing a show, and I have like the two people standing in the audience like, yeah, thank you to you two people who's watching. You hear him, Amanda? There you go. Now you threw me off. So Admiral Byrd described basically that there's entrances. Okay, I mean, I thought you were talking about my life. He described that there is entrances in the North Pole and the South Pole. And he described going into the Earth. And there were luscious greenery, that there was its own sun. Stop it, Irvin. There is something happening in Antarctica. I don't know what it is. I have my theories. But there's something strange going on in Antarctica. You can't convince me there isn't. Do you know how unlikely it is for every country to come to an agreement that Antarctica is off limits? I'd love to, Allison. Do you know how unlikely that is? It does a little bit. All right, we'll look at a different one. Let me see. Okay, so imagine instead of like getting to the core of the Earth, imagine within it, it has its own trees. It has its own flowing water. It has its own sun. They are, Hemi. Yeah, it would be claimed because we are at war about everything. But you're telling me somehow we all just agree when it comes to Antarctica? This isn't flat, Wolfie. This is the hollow earth theory, not the flat earth. And this is what Admiral Byrd claims. So he has made these trips to the North and South Pole, and he describes an entrance that goes in through the center, and it has its own sun, it has its own running water, it has its own trees, everything. All of these diary entries from Admiral Byrd. Then we have Operation High Jump. No, Irvin. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. So on November 12th, Admiral Byrd stated at a press conference that Operation High Jump was primarily a military mission to train naval personnel, test ships, planes, and the new helicopters under frigid zone conditions, develop techniques for establishing and maintaining air bases in Antarctica. Hold on. There were a lot of strange things that happened during Operation High Jump. Yes, there's a hollow earth, not just a flat earth, there's a hollow earth. There is, Amanda, thank you. There's some funky shit going down in Antarctica. Where's my book? Hold on, guys. All right. Hi, Gen X. Now Irvin's making me pull out my fucking conspiracy book. Okay. So Admiral Byrd was the first ever person to fly over the North and South Pole. He had the Medal of Honor, the Navy Cross, the Distinguished Service Medal, and the Distinguished Flying Cross, meaning he's credible. He's credible. Operation High Jump was a United States Navy operation to establish the Antarctic Research Base, Little America. On August 1946 through February 1947, Task Force 68 included 4,700 men, 13 ships, and 33 aircrafts. It ended after only 8 weeks with many fatalities. Admiral Byrd quoted, Task Force 68 had encountered a new enemy that could fly pole to pole at incredible speeds. Again, think about every medal Admiral Byrd had. Don't you LOL me, Irvin. I got my book out for this one. So, again, Task Force 68 had encountered a new enemy that could fly pole to pole at incredible speeds. Oh, Rena, whatever. Good night. After the Soviet collapse in 1991, the KGB released previously classified files that cast light on the mysterious Byrd-led naval expedition to Antarctica. The intelligence report stated that the U.S. Navy had sent the military expedition to find and destroy a hidden Nazi base. Okay? So if you know anything about Antarctica and World War II and Hitler and the Nazis, they went to Antarctica and they had a secret Navy base. And do you think we captured them and charged them for war crimes? Fuck no, we didn't. We hired them on to work for us. On the way, they encountered a mysterious UFO force that attacked the military expedition, destroying several ships and a significant number of planes. This report exposes the first known historical incident involving a battle between U.S. naval forces and an unknown UFO force stationed near Antarctica. Okay, Gen X. Oh, I need to run, but want to say hi. My sister worked at McMurdo Station. Oh, fuck yeah, I would. Fuck yes. That would be amazing. Let me change the picture for this. Let me show you guys Operation High Jump. Here. Wait, there's a UFO in this one. Yes. Perfect. Set the scenery. Good, Rena, you have to stay. Okay. Nazi Germany devoted significant resources to the exploration of Antarctica and established a pre-war presence there with its first mission in the Antarctic summer of 1938 to 1939. I get that, Urban, but there was more than that. For more reasons than that. 2 U.S. Navy servicemen with Operation High Jump gave eyewitness testimony accounts of how UFOs appeared dramatically out of the ocean depths. And then we have Agatha. And if anybody doesn't know what Agatha is, let me fucking show you. Agatha, whatever. Hi, just that, Michelle. Okay, so Agartha, however you want to pronounce it, was a legendary kingdom said to be located in the Earth's core. So again, the picture is depicting what it's like inside the Earth. The shell of Earth is about 800 miles thick from the outside to the inner Earth surface. Half the planet is taken up by surface weight, and then there is something else. Suspended in the center of that hollow is an interior sun that is divided by day and night sides. Hi, Christy. Near the north and south poles are substantial openings that lead into the interior. So again, they believe that on the north and south pole, there's an opening that leads to the center. It was proposed in 1692 by Edmund Halley. The north and south poles hidden on Google Earth. Because again, if you guys want to go to Google Earth, for some reason, north and south poles are blurred out. The inner Earth people, 71. Inside of Hollow Earth is a lush tropical paradise that houses an advanced race of humans / aliens / giants. Inhabitants are the descendants of ancient races such as the Lemurians or the lost 10 tribes of Israel, guided there through the North Pole opening by God himself. Peace, loving, and advanced far beyond our own, they are described as. They have flying saucer technology. They live lives of perfect health for hundreds of years. Their science is much more advanced because they live much longer lives, says Clough. The perfect climate believed to exist in the Hollow Earth is said to produce animals and people that are much larger and far more healthy than those on the surface. It has a perfect temperature. God made the inner sun so that it provides heat during the night and a little bit less at night. Trees grow up to 1,000 feet tall. Humans even grow up to 15 feet tall, Clough told us. Because of these ideal conditions, animal life grows really large also. Interesting. Shh, Irvin. I know what the official narrative is, Irvin. Here's the thing. This is what I love about non-believers is they'll tell us what the official narrative is as if that proves anything. That doesn't mean shit to me. I know that they have answers for everything. Let me find my other pages. Okay, let's go to a different conspiracy, shall we? Woo-hoo! I did an entire live on John Teeter. Anybody know John Teeter? Anybody? John Teeter, time traveler. Okay, this is what I need. All right. Ready, Irvin? Get ready to argue with me. John Teeter appeared in the internet forums in early 2000s. This was before Wi-Fi, wireless internet, okay? So keep it in mind, in your head, this is before Wi-Fi, wireless internet, all that good jazz. He appeared on internet forums. In November of 2000, John Teeter claimed to be a time traveler and was going around internet forums telling people what would be happening in 2036, the year he allegedly came from. Eventually, he completely disappeared from the internet and hasn't been heard of since. I quote, "My goal is not to be believed. Perhaps I should let you all in on a little secret. No one likes you in the future. This time period is looked at being full of lazy, self-centered, civically ignorant sheep. Perhaps you should be less concerned about me and more concerned about that." So that's kind of funny, and I'm not going to lie, like, it's accurate, right? Some of John Teeter's predictions, because he would go onto these forums and he would just drop these predictions, and majority of them came to light, okay? And again, before Wi-Fi or anything. One of his predictions is that a secret function that was on an IBM computer, and that was a new computer at the time. He claimed the secret function was on it where anything can be translated to any language. He claimed IBM was keeping it from the public so competition could not steal it. People tried to access it but couldn't. After 2004, once John disappeared, IBM announces the computers do, in fact, have this secret function, and it's been there the whole time. How did he know that, guys? What, Wolfie, my original John Teeter live, or like where I'm not reading it from a link. I'm reading it from my research. Like, this is my book. This is my conspiracy book that I do all my research in. But I could give you links. You could go to johnteeter.com. Yes. I quote, care to share with me how you solved the overheating problem on your speaker plane? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Care to share with me how you solved the overheating problem on your space plane? Then in 2003, Columbia's spaceship, which had 7 crew members, exploded due to overheating. Yes, it's my conspiracy binder. I have a bunch of them. You guys don't know how many notebooks and binders I have filled with this shit. Yes, Tara. So, November 2000, December 2000, January 2001, February 2001, March 2001. He claimed he came from a military group on a mission to go to 1975 to deal with that IBM computer. In 2036, everyone is recovering from a war. He is a soldier during that war, and he ended up doing this time-traveling missions. According to John, you can take things with you in time travel. His original mission was to go back to 1975 because his grandfather worked with those computers. Basically, after this war, we lost a lot of our communication systems and computers. We needed this old function on the computer that allowed to talk in different languages and computer languages. Remember, nobody even knew the computer had that function. Said it was very common for the military to send soldiers back in time who had relatives they needed something from. Within family, no personal information. John claims something happened in 1975 that stopped Y2K. Hi, do you guys remember how big Y2K was? That the whole fucking world was supposed to end? Because of whatever happened, he had to make an unplanned stop into 2000. He said it was not part of his mission. He arrived in 1988, right before he himself was born. And he convinced his family of who he was, moved in with them, stayed with his parents for that period of time, and his child self. So wrap your head around that. He's saying he traveled back in time when he himself was first born, and he lived in the house with his younger self. John was willing to answer all questions about anything aside from specific people, natural disasters, or anything you could profit off of. The time machine was about 500 pounds and could fit in a suitcase, and it had to be moved in a car, kind of like a DeLorean. How he would travel, he posted diagrams and pictures of the machine. And guys, what's on the screen right now is the diagram, the photo he showed us. He explained that it would basically be 2 mini black holes called microsingularities. If you eject electrons onto them, it will alter their spin and it will create a gravity field which will allow you to move back and forth. Claims that it's a bunch of parallel universes you are tapping into. It is impossible to get back onto the original timeline you were on. You will always return to a timeline that is slightly different than your own. The Mandela effect, guys. Realizing all of these things that we remember one way but are slightly different today. Parallel universes. It's John Teeter. John Teeter. Mandela effect. John claimed our UFOs are really ourselves from the future. And his machine only worked for 60 years. Anything more would disrupt the timeline and changes will occur, meaning he could only go 60 years into the past. Kristen, oh my God, I forgot about that. Oh my God. Hi, Katie. So only a 1% to 2% difference would be allowed to change. Anything more, which is going back more than 60 years, could cause too much changes. So they will only allow these time travelers to go back 60 years because no matter what, it's the butterfly effect, guys. No matter what, even if you do things a very specific way, it's going to cause a ripple effect and there's going to be changes. You cannot go back and time travel in history without causing a ripple effect and changing things in the future. So they basically only allows a 1% to 2% change, nothing too, monumental that will really change the course of the future. John said CERN would make the first artificial mini black holes and the entire ability to travel through time without being crushed by gravity. John said not really time traveling versus entering a different universe at whatever time you want. John said, and I quote, Stephen Hawking would come forward and admitted the biggest mistake of his career was getting it wrong on how black holes worked. And guess what, guys? Stephen Hawking later came forward saying exactly that. The family have legitimate lawyers. John Teeter's family have legitimate lawyers, and all their info is kept private for their protection. His mom has admitted that many of the posts were made from different versions of John. Multiple Johns jumping around, making these internet posts for the other versions of himself to see. So basically, it wasn't always the same John who made the posts. So John would travel back in time, make this post, and then go forward. And another John would travel back in time, make another post. And basically, he was leaving little breadcrumbs for himself. Before 9/11, in 2001, Art Bell received a fax from John in the past. And I quote, in my future, there's a tower in New York. There is a big skyscraper. Where is it? Later that year, 9/11 occurs and the towers fall. So in 2001, anybody who knows Art Bell, he received a fax from John Teeter in the past. And he said, in my future, there's a tower in New York, a huge skyscraper. Where is it? And later that year, 9/11 happens and the towers go down. John predicts internet nodes. Basically, wireless internet Wi-Fi comes out. He predicted how all of it would work. So again, at that time, Wi-Fi didn't exist. You do, Ginger? How cool is that? It gives you goosebumps, right, Michelle? He referred to it as internet nodes, and it's wireless internet, and then it had come out. He claimed that basically a civil war would happen. We would be fighting each other. He lives in a time where we are recovering from that war, but on a grand scale of things. It was the best thing to happen for humanity. It's a militia where everyone has to serve some type of role in the military. Everything was decentralized. No Federal Reserve, but still have money, credit cards, and banks. Less electronic music and more instruments used as a community healer in the future. And 1% to 2% allows changes, so predictions aren't always exact. What do you guys think about that? Interesting, huh? And he gave us this diagram. This is what the time machine looks like. And do you know how many scientists looked at this and they said, we don't know what this is? It's not a diagram of something that already exists. And we don't know what, like, we have no idea what it is. Yes, it does, Tara. Shauna, so I believe he was talking about, because it says, I quote, in my future, there's a tower in New York. There's a big skyscraper. Where is it? And later that year in 2001, 9/11 occurs and the towers fall. So I believe he's referring to the Twin Towers. I loved Art Bell, Coast to Coast, right? And then we could go through some of the crazy projects. Hi, Susan. It's so long. So we have the Stargate project, okay? Many people don't realize all of the shit that the CIA has released. People don't take the time to really like look into it. But all of this shit has been released, and you could go and look it up yourself. So the Stargate project is a 1991 code name for a secret U.S. Army unit established in 1978 at Fort Meade, Maryland, by the Defense Intelligence Agency and SRI International to investigate the potential for psychic phenomena in military and domestic intelligence applications. They worked primarily in remote viewing, the purported ability to physically see events, sites, or information from a great distance. One of the project's successes were locating a lost Soviet spy plane in 1976 by Rosemary Smith. So anyone who thinks that this stuff is all make-believe, these types of abilities and powers, look up. The CIA released these documents, Project Stargate. Okay, so basically these remote viewing, it's where they would sit a person down and they'd say, tell us what's going on in Russia at these coordinates, either currently or even in the past or the future. Remote viewing. Hi, Jeep Girl. Then we have Project Blue Book. Project Blue Book is a systematic study of unidentified flying objects by the United States Air Force. Project headquarters at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Ottawa? I don't know. They had two goals: determine if UFOs were a threat to national security and to scientifically analyze UFO-related data. They were between 1952 to 1969. During that time, thousands of UFO reports were collected, analyzed, and filed. Now look at this. Look at this. This is a crazy one. Anyone keep 9/11 in your mind when I read this, okay? Because if you've followed my 9/11 series, you've heard me refer to Operation Northwoods a lot. Okay? Operation Northwoods is a proposed false flag operation against the Cuban government that originated within the U.S. Department of Defense and the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the United States government in 1962. The government planned to fake terrorist attacks on the U.S. military was once willing to deceive and attack its own citizens for political reasons. In the 1950s to the 1960s, the U.S. was in the grip of the Cold War and terrified by the threat of communism. Cuba was deemed such a threat that a huge amount of intelligence and military activity was devoted to finding ways to depose or assassinate Fidel Castro. A plan to create fake attacks on friendly, defected Cubans, U.S. military bases, and U.S. citizens, all designed to appear conducted by Cuba. This is known as a false flag operation. So breaking it down, you guys, our government created a plan to attack us, U.S. citizens, our military, on our soil and make it appear like it came from Cuba, Fidel Castro. It would be used to garner the public and political support necessary for direct military intervention against Cuba. At that time, the documents read like a how-to manual for 9/11 conspiracies. The document outlines an elaborate plan for a fake attack of the Guantanamo Bay Naval Base, including suggestion number 10, and I quote, "Sink ship near harbor entrance. Conduct funerals for mock victims. Casualty lists in U.S. newspapers would cause a helpful wake of national indignation." End quote. Do you hear what I just said? And the documents were released. You could go and look. Sink ship near harbor entrance. Conduct funerals for mock victims. List the casualties in the newspaper to cause a helpful wake of national indignation. Mock funerals, mock victims. It never went beyond this stage or executed, but the fact that they had this all ready to go to fool us. They even referred to hijacking airplanes and crashing them into places on the U.S. soil. Why? To garner the political and public support they need to go in to war. Now tell me that 9/11 is such a far cry from a possibility that our own government may have had a hand in this. Oh, thanks, guys. Then we have anybody who likes Stranger Things and stuff like that. We have Project MK Ultra. Terrifying, but very real. That's true, Shawna. Okay, so between 1953 to 1973, we have Project MK Ultra. It was a program of experiments on human subjects that were designed and undertaken by the US CIA, which some were illegal. A lot, actually. Experiments on humans were, and I quote, experiments on humans were intended to develop procedures and identify drugs such as LSD to be used in interrogations in order to weaken the individual and force confessions through brainwashing and psychological torture. The U.S. and Canadian citizens were used as its unwitting test subjects, which led to controversy regarding its legitimacy. MK Ultra used numerous methods to manipulate its subjects, mental states, and brain function. Techniques included the administration of high doses of psychoactive drugs, especially LSD, and other chemicals, electroshocks, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, which we know from Stranger Things, when 11 gets put in that tank, that's a sensory deprivation tank, guys, and verbal and sexual abuse, in addition to other forms of torture. Within the LSD experiments, the CIA wanted to know if they could make Soviet spies defect against their will and whether the Soviets could do the same to the CIA's own operatives. They administered LSD to mental patients, prisoners, drug addicts, and sex workers. I quote, people who could not fight back, end quote. One agency offer put it. They administered LSD to a mental patient in Kentucky for 174 days. 174 days. They gave LSD to CIA employees, military personnel, doctors, other government agents, and members of the general public to study their reactions. LSD and drugs were administered without the subject's knowledge or informed consent. The aim of this was to find drugs which would bring out deep confessions or wipe a subject's mind clean and program them as, and I quote, a robot's agent. How fucked is that? And then we have Operation Midnight Climax, which kind of goes hand in hand with it. Operation Midnight Climax. The CIA set up several brothels within agency safe houses to obtain a selection of men who would be too embarrassed to talk about the events. The men were dosed with LSD, and the brothels were equipped with one-way mirrors, and the sessions were filmed for later viewing and study. So they would have these agents come in and they would dose them with LSD. And little do they know, this whole place was equipped with two-way mirrors, whatever they're called again, and they'd be filming it. They were given LSD without their knowledge, interrogated under bright lights with doctors in the background taking notes. They told the subjects they would, and I quote, extend their trips if they refused to reveal their secrets. This was done to CIA employees, U.S. military personnel, agents suspected of working for the other side during the Cold War. Long-term debilitation and several deaths resulted from this. Heroin addicts were bribed into taking LSD with offers of more heroin. A series of experiments. Thank you, Hemi. Series of experiments were initiated where LSD was given to people in a normal setting without warning. Eventually, outsiders were drugged with no explanation whatsoever, and surprise acid trips became an occupational hazard among CIA operatives. Now, there is an amazing miniseries on Netflix about Frank Olson, who is an army chemist. Okay, he's an army chemist who never had taken LSD, but he was covertly dosed by his CIA supervisor, and 9 days later plunged to his death from the window of a 13th story New York City hotel room. Olson had approached his superiors sometime earlier, doubting the morality of the project, and asked to resign from the CIA. Frank Olson, but I'll tell you the name of it. Hold on. It was so good because they intertwined the real life documentary and the family and then acting, so I forgot what that's called though. Frank Olson. Welcome, Jeep Girl. It's called Wormwood. Wormwood. So good, guys. It's true story. And again, they have a lot of the real life footage in there and then mixed with acting it. So Wormwood is the name of the Netflix series, and it's based on Frank Olson. Then there was an operative who received a dose in his morning coffee. Thank you, that Michelle. Thank you. An operative who received a dose in morning coffee became psychotic and ran across Washington, seeing a monster in every car passing him. In one case, 7 volunteers in Kentucky were given LSD for 77 consecutive days. And let me tell you something about LSD. If you take LSD 3 times, you are legally insane. 77 consecutive days. You're in the middle of the series, Ginger. How good is it? It is. I watched it like 3 or 4 times, the whole thing. It was so good. And I do not believe Frank Olson jumped to his death. I think he was pushed. So does his family. Well, at least his sons do. I hope you guys go watch it. Wormwood. That's what it's called again. You think he was pushed too, True Hopper? Yeah. Then we have the moon landing, and was it a hoax? Was it not a hoax? I believe we went to the moon. I just don't believe the footage that we saw was real. We have NASA explaining. We have NASA on videos explaining how we need to figure out how to get through the Van Allen radiation belts. Yet apparently we already did in the 60s. What do you mean we have to figure out how to survive the Van Allen radiation belts when we already did? Or how about the president was on a call with Neil and Buzz in real time, and there was no delay whatsoever. No delay. It was, hey Neil, hey Buzz, we're down here in America. We're so proud of you. Oh, thank you. Hi, Adeline. I would love to. They destroyed the data, all the telemetry data that documented everything about the moon landing. Oh, we accidentally taped over it as if it was an old VHS of a wedding that you accidentally recorded a race on. Give me a break. Or how about we gave other countries a moon rock when we returned? And one of those countries decided to do scientific studies on that moon rock, and they found out it was petrified wood. It was not a rock from the moon at all. It was literally petrified wood. The moon is 250,000 miles away. Yet how was our president able to talk in real time? Thank you, Susan. Oh, you guys are so kind. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. I love you. Thank you, Susan. You guys are so sweet. The moon is 250,000 miles away, yet we have more of a lag on StreamYard today. How was it that the president was able to talk in real time? No lag, no nothing. Some people believe Stanley Kubrick helped set up that moon landing and the footage and everything, that there was a secret film set on Hollywood Hills. And it's where are all the stars and all of the photos that we see of the astronauts in space. You don't see a single star. But again, they give us the official narrative of everything, that the explanation, so to speak. Right, Punkette? And how come we never went back, Angie? That's a great question. How come we never went back? I don't know, man. I have so many questions about so much. I have a lot of questions. Oh, I found Harry Potter trivia. Oh, awesome, Gen X. That would be awesome. Thank you. My other conspiracy book is across the room, and I don't feel like getting up to get it. I agree, True Hopper. I believe that there were crafts on that moon. There were bases on that moon. And I believe that they may have been met with an alien presence, and they were told not to come back because we weren't ready to be up there. We can't even stop fighting ourselves, guys. What makes you think we should be up in outer space? And if you look at when the astronauts returned home, I love Brucey's All. Oh, he's I've watched Brucey's All. I'm subscribed, True Helper. I've watched him a lot. What's it called? Now I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, Out of the Shadows of Gender. That's right. We are. I know he live streams too, True Helper. I've watched his footage on my lives before, and I've advertised him. Oh, that's what I was saying. If you look at when the astronauts returned home, the greatest feat in American history, right? Or the world history, we made it to the moon. And that press conference, you think these men would be thrilled. They survived. They're heroes. Yet they looked miserable. They looked miserable. Why? They should be celebrating. They should be thrilled. Yeah, why weren't they? Well, unless they saw something that they didn't expect to see, unless when they got back to Earth, they were debriefed and told that they weren't allowed to share anything that they actually experienced or saw up there. Whew. You don't think anyone was ever on the moon? Yeah, or that's what I'm saying, Shauna. If they were told not to share what they've seen up there, what they experienced, imagine just seeing crafts or alien bases. That would fucking bug you out, right? And then you were told not to share anything that you've seen. Put on a smile and pretend to the public that everything was peachy. I would look like how those astronauts looked. I know, True Helper. Yep. We are not the first advanced civilization on our planet. That's correct. I believe the moon is hollow. I believe that the moon is a celestial object that was placed there to observe over Earth. And I think that it's filled with advanced technology, but I feel like it's been long abandoned. Like whoever resided there to monitor over Earth, they left there. And if anybody watches Linda Moulton Howe, David Wilcox, all of the people who have interviewed all these whistleblowers and the people that would know, the grand consensus is that the moon is hollow and it's filled with very advanced ancient technology, but it's abandoned. I don't know, Hemi. I don't know. I have so many questions and it aggravates me because I get so mad because who are you to tell me we don't deserve to know? Oh, not Michelle. It's so kind. I'm excited. Tomorrow we're doing 9/11, and then Friday I'm starting my Missing 411 David Pilates series that I've been waiting to do since my very first live. Is anybody familiar with Missing 411 David Pilates? The strange, bizarre disappearances that are going on in the national parks and forests. Very, very excited for that. When they fired a nuke at the moon, it made... Well, they didn't fire a nuke at the moon, True Helper. They dropped the lunar module on the moon. And when they did that, it rang like a bell for over an hour. There is no possible, logical, plausible explanation why that moon should ring like a bell, cause vibrations like that for over an hour. A flimsy little piece of aluminum, because that's what the lunar module was, guys. It was flimsy aluminum. And dropping it from a height, think about it on Earth, right? Dropping something, yeah, you might feel like the ground shake if you're in the immediate vicinity, but you're telling me through the core, you're going to feel that vibration for over an hour? If you don't remember what the lunar module looked like, let me show you. Here we go. That's the fucking lunar module. And that was dropped. I don't remember at what height they were leaving, going back to Earth, and they dropped it just to try to measure. And that caused the moon to ring like a bell for over an hour. Oh, you are, Ginger? Awesome. Well, from the telescopes that these independent researchers have, is it does appear that the moon has an atmosphere, and it almost appears that there is greenery on the moon. And there's some type of tunnel system on the moon. If you watch like Bruce Sees All, or you watch these, people who live stream with their advanced telescope, you're seeing crafts coming in and out of these craters left and right. Now, that doesn't mean it's extraterrestrials. It could most likely, it's us, or it could be mixed. Who knows? But anyone who thinks that the moon isn't established, there are people there. Fuck yeah, they are. Yep. What if the moon was made of cheese? Fucking rang like a bell for over an hour for that. This flimsy, and again, this is the technology that we cannot recreate. We destroyed all the telemetry. We have none of the data. And even though we're in 2022, we can't possibly recreate it. This flimsy little aluminum shit. Then we have the International Space Station, where these astronauts live stream all the time. Yet, why has it that the ISS has been caught using harnesses numerous times? If you're floating in zero gravity, you don't need a fucking harness to make it appear as though you're floating. Awesome, True Helper. That's what I want to hear. Oh, thank you, Susan. You guys, thank you. You guys are being so kind. And thank you for being here for actual content versus drama. But if you guys look up, I played it last time, but I got my video got blocked for playing it. So if you look up on to YouTube and write the ISS, what did I type in? ISS harness, ISS oops, mess ups, you'll see compilations of a bunch of footage of, you'll see harnesses on them. Why? No, I'm not talking about outside the ISS, Irvin. I'm talking about inside. And no, they just move. They're not harnessed in there. They're harnessed in if they're doing exercise. They'll sit there and there's a way to lock their feet in. When you're sleeping, they'll put something over them to where they just won't float away. But I'm talking about inside the ISS. They had a lot of green screen mess ups. There was one where you think you're looking out at live feed of outer space and you see a person walk by. I'll find that one for you guys. I'll find it. Why can't I see Jeep Girl? You keep saying 7. Why can't I see 7? Is she here? Irvin. No. What do you need a harness to move around for? It is, Ginger. I'm happy other people enjoy it too. You've seen that, right, Angie? Yeah, right. You don't see Shalena. Why do you keep saying 7? Oh, a different 7. Oh, you're talking about 71 kgc, but you're just typing it out like Shalena's. Okay. You were confusing me. What did I type in? I don't know. I did it on one of my old streams. This is this is one of them where he gets caught trying to do a flip, but his harness like messes up. No, that's true. That is true. The inside gravity is different from the outside. Yes. Yes, Angie. Ooh, I like white cheeses. I don't know. It was really interesting. I'll find the live. It was one of my moon landing videos. It's really interesting. But all right, guys, I'm gonna hop off for tonight. Anybody who is interested in following along with my 9/11 series, I do episode 7 tomorrow. It's been like a couple of weeks since I did the last episode, so I'm really looking forward to jumping on that. It's going to be a daytime live. So right now I think it's scheduled like at 2 or 3 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, I very much look forward to that. And I'm also looking forward to having some people come up and discuss it because I want to hear from the people who were there. Everybody remembers where they were and what they were doing the day of 9/11. And I love to hear everyone's different experiences and how it's impacted them. And then on Friday, we're going to, like I said, start the Missing 411. That's going to be a series of its own where we do episode by episode. I'll probably start off episode with 1 being Dior Coons because he's one of the most famous, but I'm excited for it. So thanks for everyone who's hanging out and everyone who supported actual content. Thank you for all the super chats. That was very, very kind of you guys. Thank you, Irvin, for fighting me on everything that I said. I appreciate it. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Spread some peace, love, and positivity. I love you all. Mwah. Namaste.